And it's raining again. So we had a 2 day break from the rain, and it started all over again this morning. So we've had, in the last 2 weeks, it has been so hot and humid outside. The humidity was so high, I honestly think that if you came out here and took a deep enough breath, you would have a near drowning experience. It was just crazy. And of course, when you have that weather like that, the next thing you know, here comes a thunderstorm across the mountain. And it was like that every day, 2, 3, 4 thunderstorms every day, and it never ended. So, in being it that hot, I'm just not built for that kind of heat. Sorry, it's just how it is. What I was showing you here at first, on the very first part of this, and that's why I actually got some grass mowing caught up, and I started weed eating this morning, and about halfway through getting my weed eating done and everything. Obviously, this side isn't before I got done. I was doing more around the fence line for the pigs to knock that out first. It started just pouring down rain. So what I'm showing you here, all right, so this is a portion of our yard, and this is exactly where I was talking about, this area over here where I want to put the lambs next year and going on up the hill up there. But I'm looking at this and I'm going, I was talking to my wife and I said, you know what, because the plans is this mulch pile here, this pile of wood chips and the shipping container all get moved. So the wood chips will go to the orchard, and the shipping container gets moved to the other end of the property out here. And I said, you know what? You know what looked great right there? And I said, a greenhouse. I said, I'd love to put a high tunnel there. And she said, I'm happy with that. That sounds like a good idea. So the plan is as things move along, I get that stuff moved, get that all out of there and everything. Next spring, we're going to look at going through the NRCS, which is part of the Department of Agriculture, to get I think it's a Gothic style is what they do, is the high tunnels. So to get a high tunnel, and there's a program set up where you end up like paying 10%, like the total cost of everything costs you 10%. So we're going to put in for that, and I want to put in a high tunnel right there. That's one of the very few level spots that we have up here. So put the high tunnel in. That gives us an extended growing season. I mean, for raised beds and stuff, we got massive amounts of tomatoes on. Well, not massive amounts, but we got a lot of tomatoes on, and they're still ripening and stuff like that. So everything's growing up really great, really great. We've gotten a good harvest. Matter of fact, there's tomato sauce, tomato soup, and tomato juice on the stove right now, cooking down. And so we're right out of the garden, right to the cans. Just how we're going to do it. So what we've got accomplished here, since everything, with all the rain and everything, is, I'll show you here. All right, so where the American breasts were out here in the chicken tractor right here, I took them, moved them to the coop, the permanent coop, and I put the Delaware broilers over there in the chicken tractor, and I moved everything completely over so they were on all fresh grass. So the American breasts are now in the coop. They're on this side of the coop, the left side, and the right side is where the Delaware broilers are going to go as soon as they get a couple more weeks out here on the grass. So I got weed eating done this morning, got the whole fence line done all the way out around the whole pig pen and back, and I made it about halfway down over the hill into the woods there when the rain really started, and I just gave it up from there. I said, I'm done. So with all of that, you look at the yard. So we've got, up here where the house is, we've got 2 acres. And of course, in those 2 acres, we've got chickens now. We've got chicken coop, chicken tractor, actually two hoop coop and a chicken tractor, and the permanent coop. And now with the idea of wanting to put the greenhouse over there, I laughed. I said, it's kind of funny. I said, everybody craves and shoots for these beautiful manicured lawns, and they spend all this money on, a professional company to come out and keep their grass nice and neat and all this other stuff. Man, I tell you what, there may have been a point in my life where I thought about having a nice pretty lawn and pretty decorations and stuff out there. And I view a home now as not only just a place to live, but when you put that much effort into beautifying your lawn, to beautify, to get that curbside appeal, when you put that much effort into that, you're doing nothing except showing off. And now look, from that perspective, what I'm saying is look, I have a beautiful house. I have a beautiful manicured lawn. I have beautiful flowers all over the place. And there's nothing wrong with flowers. There's nothing wrong with flowers. Matter of fact, when we were at Rural King the other day, I told the wife, I said, hey, let's go see if they have any bee balm seeds so we can plant some bee balm up here. They're beautiful flowers. One of my absolute favorite flowers is bee balm. And they bring in, pollinators. So there's no, I'm not picking on anybody for flowers. But when you build a home or you buy a home and you turn it into what it is that you want, that's completely on you, okay? That's completely up to you. But now I view a home as something where if I have land, available land, I should be growing something on that land. I should be growing things to eat, some things to feed my family with. And I shouldn't be worrying about so much about curb appeal. And I've told you before, we're so far up on the hill here, there's no curb. So you can't even see our home unless you fly over. And with the weather and everything like that, we're a little behind in all of our projects and stuff, but we're slowly moving forward, and there are more plans coming as we go. So if you've got a yard and you spend a lot of time in a flower bed or mowing your yard or doing this or doing that, you spend all this money on reseeding this little area and reseeding that area, or putting fertilizer and stuff on it, man, you should be growing food. You should be growing food left and right. You can do like lasagna gardening where you don't even have to dig in your yard. You can do real pretty like market gardening setups and stuff like that, and grow your own food. And you should absolutely be doing that, especially in these days. I've never in my life thought I would see where we're at today, see where our country is, to see the infighting between the political parties, to see the infighting amongst people, to see society coming to the point that it's at today. And it's so much. It's almost like it's surreal. You know what I mean? You see this kind of stuff, and now you see that they've passed this bill and the Inflation Reduction Act. And at first, well, there was no inflation. There's no inflation. No, it's no inflation. Those are hyped up numbers, but now they have to pass the Inflation Reduction Act. And then turn around and add to that the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, and the Penn Wharton budget model absolutely 100% shows that this bill will do nothing, absolutely nothing to offset or reduce inflation. Matter of fact, in 2 years, it'll actually increase inflation. And, these politicians are spending money hand over fist. And they should be reducing spending, is what they should do. Every bill that they propose that spends $1 should cut $2 to $3, because we're in this vicious perpetual cycle of debt. We're $30 trillion and growing. Private citizens have $16 trillion in debt, never before seen in history. And I think we've just taken our cues from the politicians, and people are just spending freely. So, work on your own financial issues and stuff like that, and get yourself out of debt, because, following the politicians' lead, that's really no good role model there. But, it's going to be up to us. It's going to be up to us to take care of our own. Help is not coming. Expect the self-rescue. I'm sure you guys have seen that on Facebook somewhere, but expect the self-rescue, which means it's up to us. It is. It's up to you. It's up to me. It's up to us to take care of our own families and everything, and make sure that we come out on the other end of this in a better position than most people are going to, because it's a free fall at this point. So, the economy is at a point right now where they just don't know what to do. They don't know how to expect it. They can't anticipate or use any current models or any even existing models to predict what's going to happen, because several factors play into that. Is number one, there's never been this much of currency circulating, never been this much American currency in circulation. There's never been this high of debt. There's never been this high of citizen debt. And with the pandemic, the interruption of supply lines and everything like that, they just don't know what to do. And that's why they're trying to raise the rates and hoping things, will correct themselves as they raise the rates. Well, now they're talking that now we're going to stop raising rates. Now we're going to, start lowering rates. They just don't know what to do. They're from one side to the other because they can't figure it out. So while they're playing games, we're going to continue to work to build our farm, to build our food supply and our food security here, to expand our gardening. Next year, our corn is doing great with all this rain and everything. Of course it is, and with the heat. So the corn is tasseled out. It's probably about 12 feet tall in most places now, and it's doing really good. But next year, and I know you can't see it from here, so we actually did get the hoop coop moved. We got it moved up forward in the orchard, and we got another 100 feet of fence put around. So there's now 260 feet of fence for the chickens to get in there in free range. But from where the corn is now, this whole top part up here, I'm going to do in corn next year. And I want to do that. I'll do most of it in like the hard corn, like we got now, and then I'll do some in sweet corn. And we'll go that route and probably just sell some corn. Why not? You know, something I can put in the kids' piggy banks. And that's the whole purpose of that, is to sell it and put local. And hell, I'll put it in the back of the truck, get down here at the end of the driveway and put a sign up, say local sweet corn, you know. So, and that'll go to the kids' piggy banks. But anyways, stop worrying about your manicured lawns. Stop worrying about having the prettiest yard on the block. Start putting gardens, start growing something, and start feeding yourself and your family, and get out of that cycle and that expectation that the local neighborhood Karen might have, that your yard should be as beautiful, you know, as hers. And anyways, so you live your life the way that you want to, but I'm going to encourage you to grow your own, do as much as you can for yourself, because again, expect a self-rescue, because these folks in Washington, they're not going to do anything for us. Every time whatever party wins, the American people fail. Keep working to starve that system before a system starves you. Take care. God bless. And be prepared.